Welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we as a community actively seek this spiritual nourishment our souls crave. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual journey. Together, we guide each other, offering insights, no insults, and interpretations from our daily lectionary readings that provide the manna designed to nurture our spiritual growth. Today, Monday, July the 8th, 2024, is the seventh week after Pentecost. We will read from the Old Testament book of 2 Samuel, chapter 5, over the next 2 days as we explore the deeper meaning of the text. We have journeyed with David from his humble beginnings as a teenage boy, caring for his father's sheep and living the life of a shepherd. Samuel, the prophet, visited their home under the disguise that he would be attending a family dinner. But he actually went to secretly anoint one of Jesse's 8 sons as the next king of Israel because God had rejected Saul and God's spirit was no longer with him. Saul was not willing to cooperate, he was not willing to obey God or to be mentored by Samuel. Samuel tried to anoint Jesse's older boys, and no oil would flow out of the horn to anoint them. Samuel was perplexed and asked if there were any more sons. It was then Jesse remembered his youngest son, David. They sent for him, and when he came into the house, Samuel turned the horn upside down on David's head, and the oil began to run. Samuel anointed a short, ruddy teenager to replace Saul in due time. It would be many years before David would ascend to the throne. And in these intervening years, Saul sought every opportunity to kill David, causing David to run for his life along with his band of faithful army men. Yet David's resilience and unwavering faith in God's plan are genuinely inspiring. In today's lectionary text, 2 Samuel chapter 5, verses 1 to 10, Saul and his sons are dead, and David is now fully established in power and prestige, just as Yahweh had promised. David has overcome his enemies. Now, he had already been anointed as king in Judah, that is, the 2 tribes who were in the south of the country, but there were still the 10 tribes of Israel in the north that Saul and his family had had control over. All of them are now dead, and praise be to Jehovah. David has a clear conscience. He kept his promise to Jonathan. He did not kill any of Jonathan's family. The tribes of Israel were without any leadership, and they came almost begging to David, asking him to rule over them. They admitted that even when Saul was king, it was David who had led them in military campaigns. David's leadership style echoed his humble beginnings, shepherding sheep. He used the same skills to shepherd God's people to become their ruler. Did you know David's leadership style? His style was to be a shepherd to God's people and become their leader. Now, in ancient times, the metaphor of shepherd indicated the king was responsible for guarding, feeding, nurturing, and protecting the community. Saul's leadership style was marked by having power over the people to rule them. David is the shepherd who cares and guides his people, protecting them from danger and predators. His leadership style was through caretaking and not through wielding power and brutal domination. This was a radical shift in leadership styles. So, images of Saul are ones of bullying and anger, versus the images of David, they are ones of simplicity and peace. This is a reminder that Jesus is the Good Shepherd who cares for us, his sheep. David enjoyed 40 years of his entire reign. It was a time of stability, security, and a coming of age for the people of Israel and Judah. The 12 tribes were united again as one nation. David reigned a shepherd leadership style, and the unity of the tribes called for a new physical location for David to reside. And that place was Jerusalem, which he named the city of David after he captured it from the people living there. For centuries later, Jerusalem would stand as the holy city, the center of God's people. So far, the text calls us to consider this. Do we hold power on behalf of everyone or just with the people we favor? David was able to unite the nation by shepherding all of them and not continuing Saul's way of dominance, which could have resulted in warring fractions among the troops.